Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
So what I'm saying now is that you're going to have this massive influx of immigrants into the country that are better equipped. They don't have your legacies. They don't have your disadvantages. They're walking across the border. They're going to get a free lunch. They don't have to pay dues. But you got public policies in this country that are equating them to black folk. They're equating them to black, and what we've allowed them to do, starting in 1970, is to wrap themselves in black folks' suffering and pretend somehow they suffered along with black folk. And therefore, whatever program is created under this misguided label called minority, that they are equal to you and over you. And we're going to deal with that whole concept of minority in a few minutes too.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, welcome back to another Sunday service. I hope you all been having a beautiful Sunday. It's been a great one for myself. Today, I want to talk to you guys about this question that's been asked as of recently. Due to a lot of politicians and people who are supposed to be American representatives coming out and openly showing their allegiance to other countries, or namely their home countries. And I want to concentrate on just a few people here today. I can pull so many people, but I'd like to talk about a specific area, because you're seeing this a lot more in a specific area, namely Minneapolis, but also in New York. So we're going to talk about two areas there, two different candidates in that situation. But first, I want to go and start with Minneapolis. And the reason why is because we're seeing a lot more of the Somalians getting together and not just running for public office, but making it very clear when they get into the public office where their loyalty lies. And I find it very interesting that these people keep getting into office, even though folks know where their loyalty lies. Before we get this cracked off, let me go ahead and do what I do. Got to give a B1 salute, shalom, and much love. Thank you for being here. To our sister Aquarius Minded. A shalom to our brother Leonard Deyuda, excuse me. Our sister Hurricane Nisi is in the building. Priscilla Tater also is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Our sister Bad 72 is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. I'm just going to say it. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family, and thank you for your early comment. That's a hell no. Okay. All right. Much love to Reparations Nation. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Shalom to you as well. Quasi Black Star is in the building. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here. Sidonia Snow, I hope I said that right. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. Our family, John Son, is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. DW, much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. Our sister, Mrs. L, is in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as Eric Ford. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. Foundational Black on America's on Cold. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. And everyone who is not in the chat, thank you for being here. And everybody who's going to catch this on the playback, much love to you and thank you for being here. Now, family, I want to start off by going to this article here. Now, this is talking about a situation that has been brought back up into the mainstream due to this Somalian here by the name of Omar Fateh, excuse me. I might Fateh, something like that. Anyway, due to him running for mayor in Minneapolis. So let's get here. Deqa Dhalac, excuse me, goes viral for expressing loyalty to Somalia, has ties to radical Somalis who won the Democrat primary for Minneapolis mayor. Let's go here. Maine Representative Deqa Dhalac, a Somalian immigrant and Maine politician, has garnered national attention in recent days after years-old clip resurfaced, showing her appearing to express her ongoing prioritization, excuse me, of her home country, even after she became mayor of South Portland in 2021. I want to show you the clip before we continue and let my dog in the house. So let's go here.
Policies, how can the politics in Somalia can be, resonate what we have here in the United States, the democracy that we have. How can you help us, be a better country and build back what we used to have back in long time ago? So hopefully, we will be able to help our country, our former country, Somalia, and policies. How can the
now, family, I want to really highlight the fact that this woman's frame of thinking, her frame of mind with being in office is how they can benefit their homeland of Somalia. Not how they can make America better, not how they can make America safer, not how they can make America more affordable, how to make Somali better and quote unquote restore them to something that she says they had once before. Well, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But what I do know is that we're not responsible for restoring Somalia to whatever she claimed it was once before. I'm going to play that back.
Policies, how can the politics in Somalia can be, resonate what we have here in the United States, the democracy that we have. How can you help us, be a better country and build back what we used to have back in long time ago? So hopefully, we will be able to help our country, our former country, Somalia, and policies. How can the politics in Somalia can be, resonate what we have here in.
Salute to our sister Aquarius Minded. Thank you for this comment because this is exactly my sentiments exact. If they want to benefit or they want to create policy and make sure that they build up their homeland, why aren't they back home running for office in their homeland? Why are you in a country that you claim oppresses you, running for office there to do things for your homeland back home? And she's not the only one that thinks like this. And we're going to get to everybody in the whole bunch that I want to talk about today. But also remember, this was her too.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waxay ii tahay maanta farxad aad u weyn inaan la joogo dadkaygii, eheladaydii, garaadadaydii, ugaarsadayadii, xildhibaanadayadii, wasiiradayadii, dalkeennii soo sanadiyacay Khartoum state of Somalia. We're gonna defend our land. Dalkeenna waan defend garaynaynaa. Marka insha Allah wixii laga baahan yahay wadana lobbying ah inaynu dalkeena ku soo qabano حتى هذه القضية free أنا وشقينا أنا وديار باقي إن شاء الله.
We're going to defend our land. God willing, I'll be lobbying to help our country, Somalia, even if I do that lobbying for free. I'm ready to do that. Ready. These are the people that are getting into office over here in America. Should that be a problem? That they're clearly showing that they have a loyalty to their homeland. When you come here, you have to pledge an oath, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. But if you're coming here pledging that oath only to turn around, go and get in the office and try to do things for your home country, are you hurting or benefiting America? That's the question. And what do you mean by we will defend our land? If you're an American representative, shouldn't America be the land you're trying to defend? See, this is what I'm saying. There's a huge issue there. A very large issue. Salute the faith, speak light. Thank you for being here, family, and thank you for your Cashapp donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution as always, family. As well as salute and shalom to our brother Cult-like personality. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Let's go back over here. Those comments have come back into the limelight as Omar Fateh, the son of Somali immigrants, has recently won the Democratic primary for mayor in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a heavily blue city where the party's nomination gives him a strong chance of winning in November's election. How can politics in Somalia? How can the politics in Somalia, can you know, resonate? Well, I'm going to skip this because that's just more of that video she just did there. Dhalac has repeatedly reinforced her apparent loyalty to Somalia. And as of recently, as of 2024, while she was serving in the main legislature, these people are writing laws over here. Repeatedly referred to Somalia as her homeland, while visiting the African country. And apparently vowed to use her political position to lobby for Somalia's interest, rather than those of her constituents in South Portland. Is this a problem? I am very happy to be with my country, my people, my elected members of parliament. We don't have a parliament over here. So this is her speech while she was back home. What do you mean by my elected members of parliament if you're an American citizen? I'm confused. You're an American representative. So how are you running over there saying my elected members of parliament and ministers? Salute to the Intact Channel. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. My state of SSC, Katuma, state of Somalia. We're going to defend our land, she said. According to a translation of an address delivered in Somalia. God willing, I'll be lobbying to help our country, Somalia, even if I do the lobbying for free. I'm ready to do that. Ready, she added. I'll even try to put together some organizations to help our people here. How would you do that? And why would you do that? Now, if you're a representative, why aren't you putting together programs for your constituents? You know, the people who put you in office. And I doubt, I hear that they have a large Somalian population over there. But in Maine, and in Minnesota. So you're telling me the Somalians is dominating in Maine, Minnesota, and wherever the hell else that keeps on allowing these folks to get in office? I don't think so. I smell a con gang going on. Something's going on. But like this article said, at least for the Minneapolis situation, they have a heavy blue city. So the party's nominations gives him a strong chance of winning in the November elections. All these in Democratic states, understandable. I want to go here, family, because this all came out because she decided to endorse this man here, Omar Fateh. And if you guys don't remember who he is, I'm pretty sure you do, because this is a guy who looks like an alien. This is a guy who literally looks like somebody who'll run up on you with a chopper with the Somalian pirate shirt on. Now, I'm just saying, I'm just going to call it for what I see. Just going to call it for what I see. And his platform is, and this is his vision, Omar's vision for addressing unsheltered homelessness with compassion. It says here, we have to embrace a housing first approach. Housing is a human right. By prioritizing housing for unhoused residents, we establish a stable foundation for life improvements and can be more readily connect residents with necessary resources. Now, family, we know how the Democratic Party gets down. And we know that a lot of these illegals are in these blue states, these so-called sanctuary cities, which Minneapolis just so happened to be. So when he's talking about housing the unhoused, when he's talking about making sure they're creating these connections with residents, is he talking about legal residents, or is he talking about the illegal residents that they have in their city that they're fighting so hard to hold on to? I would bet my bottom dollar on the latter. We also need public health approach. Need a public health approach encampment, excuse me. Let me reread that. I'm sorry, family. We also need a public health approach to encampments and ensure access to life-saving infrastructures like hand washing stations, portable bathroom, running water, safe needle disposal programs, and storage for personal belongings. Safe needle disposal programs. Hey, who was it again who was giving out needles during their presidential administration? Oh yeah. Wasn't that Joe Biden? That damn sure was Joe Biden who was out here giving out needles and crack pipes to people, calling it safe needle disposal programs. Shalom to Jesse Paris. Thank you for being here, family. Absolutely, sister. It was Biden. So basically, he's trying to reintroduce helping people get high. He's trying to reintroduce helping people get high. Interesting. And he says here, we need a mayor with the homelessness response that doesn't mirror Trump's executive order that criminalizes poverty and promotes the removal of services for the unhoused. No. What he did was remove the services for the undocumented, as you call them, the illegals, as you call them. So I guess I answered that question when we were talking about housing. Who would it prioritize? I guess that question has been asked and has been answered. Peace and shalom to JJ Mars as well as DJ Black 909 in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Let's go here because I want to remind y'all, maybe some of you may remember this, some of you may not.
We heard them being called terrorists. We heard them being called drug dealers. We heard a lot of insults. We heard that they're a threat to our national security. And that's a flat out lie.
He's talking about illegals, ladies and gentlemen. He's talking about illegals.
You want to know who the real threat is, Madam President? I'll give you a hint. They don't look like our chief author. They don't look like the folks up in the gallery. They don't look like the folks on the rotunda. They look like many of the members that sit in the front. And you don't have to take my word for it. According to DHS, Madam President, the greatest domestic threat facing the United States comes from, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race.
Now, family, what he just read is an actual document, and what he just said is actually true. I can't knock him for that. You know, he's actually speaking a bit of truth there. You know where the problem comes in? The problem lies when you're using that truth to try to now put on the cape for a bunch of illegals who are practicing criminal activity by not just breaking into the country, that's a criminal act in itself, but breaking the law once they get here. And getting away with it. getting released, catch and release, as if there's like really no no issue here. You know, we really can't do nothing. We gotta release them back to the streets. We can't work with ICE. Instead of them sending them to prison for years upon years for grape. Instead of sending them to prisons for years upon years for sexual assault and unalivings and things like that. I read an article the day before yesterday, and I remember it distinctly because it spoke about this illegal immigrant, this illegal invader who literally got in a car accident and almost killed somebody, DUI, but got released, sent home, no charges. Only to later on in the week go out drinking again and do the same exact thing. This time, actually unaliving somebody. The time before then, the person luckily wasn't, well, they was hurt, but they wasn't in critical condition. This time around, the same damn illegal get into a crash and actually unalive somebody. These are the people that they're putting on the cake for. These are the people that this man just made this whole speech about white supremacy for. When the truth of the matter is, everything that he was actually speaking about pertains to foundational Black Americans and our fight with the terrorists known as these white supremacist extremist groups. I'm going to play it again, and I want you guys to hear it from the lensing and the framing of that.
Heard them being called terrorists. We heard them being called drug dealers. We heard a lot of insults. We heard that they're a threat to our national security. And that's a flat out lie. You want to know who the real threat is, Madam President? I'll give you a hint. They don't look like our chief author. They don't look like the folks up in the gallery. They don't look like the folks on the rotunda. They look like many of the members that sit in the front. And you don't have to take my word for it. According to DHS, Madam President, the greatest domestic threat facing the United States comes from, quote, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race, not our immigrants. We are safer and we're better off because of them. Heard them being called terrorists.
Shalom and salute to Leah Boo to you. Thank you for being here, family. We are so on our Marvin Sapp behavior. Close the doors. Exactly. Close them damn doors. Get these folks up. We can't let these folks in. I actually absolutely agree with you there. Family, they were trying to make this man a champion because they knew that he was going to be running. This is a part of the Democratic plan. This is what they've been planning for a while. Getting different people into office that have no type of tie to foundational Black Americans. They tried to make this man seem like a hero. It says Senator Omar Fateh, Minneapolis, is hoisted in the air. Hoisted in the air by supporters immediately after passage of a bill that provides protections to network drivers who work for companies such as Uber and Lyft. Family, this is 2023. Tell me, Who is it that have the majority of the Uber and Lyft jobs? Here's a hint there. Who do you see in these pictures? Who do you see lifting him up? Do you see any FBAs there? Nope. I see Somalian. I see more Somalians. Oh, will you look at that? Even the Asian guy in the back. But I don't see no FBAs. Salute the cult-like personality. The Confederates are the Dems. They could care less about what a United States, their actions. Salute AB. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Family, this man, let me pull this down for a second because the screen is shaking. God dang. StreamYard. This man went around bragging in 2021 about, do you remember that scam that was going on with the feed the children, feed our children, feed our future nonsense? He went around bragging about helping to raise 250 million while they were under investigation. Shalom, Shabazz, American Freedman. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here. Let's go here.
So I want to help me welcome our brother Omar Fateh. My name is Omar Fateh. I'm the state senator for District 62, which is in South Minneapolis. I want to thank first all of you for sticking together, for working together, for fighting. I want to thank our organizers, Mahad, Ikram, other folks that helped lead this fight. And I want to thank also Amy and her team, Feeding Our Future, for making this first court victory a reality. So first, I want to say thank you to all of you. This was a fight.
Now, family, this is when he was a senator. These folks are literally moving through these positions. Either they become House representative, they become senator, and then they go for the mayor. Then they go for a governor. But these folks, they're here doing this and they're getting their bones off of it. Pause. Salute Duster. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you, as well as Armageddon. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here, as well as our sister Cooking with Miss D. Much love to you, sister. Thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure.
Has been going on for a long time. I've been hearing about this for several months now. And when our office first got involved, it got involved because of all of you getting together. I remember Ikram calling us to an event here in South Minneapolis, organized by her and Amy. And at that time, we saw a couple hundred of you coming out, right? Speaking out about the stop payments, the money that was being stopped from your reimbursements. Immediately when I got there, I was extremely proud of all of you and surprised. And I had Dawson immediately take a picture of what was going on. And we emailed it out to the governor's office saying, there's a whole lot of folks that are being affected right now. And literally within minutes, it was a Friday afternoon that happened. Within minutes, they emailed us back saying, let's meet Monday morning. So that was because of the power of all of you that happened. And in that meeting, we're asking what was going on. And we asked very directly, was there any evidence of fraud? Was there any concerns or suspicions? And they told us that there was zero evidence. Nothing was there. So to us, that was immoral, what was going on. And I see this most recent victory coming from not just our office, but our other electeds, from Ilhan's office and Ali that's here, from the Feeding Our Future staff, from all of you coming together. Because it's not just East African fight, just like our brother just said right now. It was affecting our Black community, our Latino community, our minority kids, our working families, all of us. And MDE and the state that's already failing all of us, coming in consistently last in terms of servicing our students of color, underperforming schools, and now to have this, I think it's immoral. And for this most recent news to come out that they're trying to make everybody come back and reapply, I think that's wrong, and it shows you that the fight is going to continue. And from what our office has been seeing, that this has been an ongoing issue from MDE, from DHS, whether it's a Democratic administration or Republican administration. Our communities are very concerned. This has been an ongoing thing. Folks that own group homes and home cares and working class people that have now gone into this, experiencing issues from MDH, but now MDE, they've seen this as an ongoing pattern, right? And what I can tell you right now is that the leadership hears you, that folks and at the Capitol hear you, that the pressure is really on, and that they see you, and that it is working. And just like you won in the court right now, I promise you, if you stick together, that our battle ahead, you'll be victorious also. But I need all of you to continue to work hard, stick together, keep supporting Amy and showing up like you were doing right now, and don't back down. I know Mahad was talking earlier about folks saying it's a struggle for people to go against the government, and you don't do that. But right now, it's just not all of you. You got government fighting government too. I'm part of government, right? So you got government fighting government right now. So.
Family, they're very proud to be able to say that. We're fighting for you guys. We're fighting government, but the people that he's speaking to, and I guarantee you the people in the audience inside of that crowd there are other Somalians or illegals, people who shouldn't be here to begin with. Shalom and salute to our sister Mia Kim and Key Prince in the building. Much love to you both. Thank you for being here. As well as Jonathan, thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Family, you know that this is the case when you're seeing situations like this. Omar Fateh is running for a Minneapolis mayor to raise the minimum wage by over $4 over the next few years, freeze rent, and Trump-proof the city. And Trump-proof the city. What does that mean? That means he's going to work tirelessly. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with me today. He's going to work tirelessly to make sure that the deportations and things like that isn't going to hit his city. They're not going to work with ICE. They're not going to work with anything that Trump puts into the situation. So, the 14th Amendment not applying to the illegals anymore. They're not going to work with that. They're not going to deal with anything of Trump. And that's how you know right there. And I'm not saying that, you should just fall in line with Trump's policies. No. What I'm saying is that's how you can actually tell that these folks are not rocking for America, especially for foundational Black Americans. His whole goal when he becomes mayor is to freeze rent, to do rent freezes because of what? Because of the deportations. People are so quote unquote afraid to go to work. The same thing that Karen Bass says she was going to do. He said he want to raise the minimum wage. That sounds good. But who's going to be getting those jobs if you're not participating within the Trump raise and things like that? This is what he means by essentially Trump proofing. So should we be voting for this? Does that benefit Black Americans in any way? Salute Kuwait, thank you for being here, family. Much love to you, as well as Remy85. Thank you for being here, family. Let's go here. This is some of his campaign videos that people are calling out dead to right, because he's gotten so damn comfortable that he's not even speaking in full English anymore when he's campaigning. He's switching in between his native language and English. So let's go here.
مقعد عمر فاتح ستيت سيناتور ديستريكت 62 هدنا وحنا هاي مشرح دوق مقال مينيابوليس. First, لبوي كهر we won the DFL endorsement process. Alhamdulillah من كوبل لسنة حزب DFL in getting the endorsement, and now the next process وحوية September 15th and then November 4 will be early voting. So please come out. We need your help to volunteer. We need your help on the phone to make phone calls to everybody. Most importantly, we need your help to donate. We need a lot of financial support to make sure we're supporting all of the volunteers and making sure we have a strong team. So please go to fatahformir.com to learn more. And وحنقوم أحد أنا ولاكي عبد دانتو وأنا عاون لكم to talk about the campaign والمحسنتين.
Family, we knew we had a tether problem that we had to deal with. But the Nabiscos are learning that they also have to deal with that same tether problem. See, the Nabiscos didn't have a problem with the tethers being the tethers that they are until it touched home. So now that it's touching home, now that they're seeing that, oh, wait a second, they're pulling in more people from their country and they're trying to make it all about their country and taking resources out of America and sending it to their country. They're not talking about our citizens. Now they're starting to see that the tether problem isn't just in the foundational Black American community. No, it's going to touch you too. Let's go here, family.
But a guy running for mayor in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
مقعي عمر فاتح ستيت سيناتور ديستريكت 62 هدنا وحنا هاي مشرح دوق مقالة Minneapolis. First, لبوي كهور we won the DFL endorsement process. Alhamdulillah من كوبو لسنة حزبك DFL in getting the endorsement. And now the next process وحوية September 15th and November 4 will be early voting. So please come out. We need your help to volunteer. We need your help on the phones to make phone calls to everybody. Most importantly, we need your help to donate. We need a lot of financial support to make sure we're supporting all of the volunteers and making sure we have a strong team. So please go to fatahformayor.com to learn more. And I will look with me to talk about the campaign with Mahsinti.
I mean, like about 50% of it seems to be in English. The ad isn't even, he barely speaks English in the ad. He's speaking the language of Somalia. That's the Minneapolis mayor. And you know, the crazy part is they might just elect him. They might elect Zohran Mamdani in New York City. They may elect these complete fringe, out of touch with most of.
Put a pin in Zohran Mamdani because we're going to touch on him next. Pause. We're going to discuss him next. B1 salute and shout out to Pal Pete. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. As well as FLA Trucker. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Good to see you. As well as Uncensored Truth. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Volta. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Taiwo. Thank you for being here, family. But who the hell voted for Trump? See, that's the problem with you folks. You folks can hear us critiquing a situation within the Democratic Party, and because you love your party so much because they love their immigrants, you will assume that we're actually in support of Trump or the Republicans. Well, as the saying goes, when you assume, you make an ass out of yourself. I'm going to say you're assuming just to make sure that it isn't you making an ass out of you and me. It's just an ass out of you. And it's continuing. Now, we understand that you don't like Trump because, you know, Trump is getting y'all out the paint. Tom Homan got you guys running scared. I understand that. That's not even a problem. But keep your fear to yourself. Keep your assumptions to yourself. Because you're not telling the truth. All you're doing is trying to find a scenario to help you cope and deal with it. So understand. We know why you're scared. We understand that you're scared. But pull up your big boy pants Put on your big boy pants and get it moving. Stop trying to troll us and go and worry about what you got going on. Because when Tom Homan come knocking on the door for you, I want you to be prepared. And you can't be prepared sitting here in FBA spaces, in our rooms and things like that, sitting here telling these false fallacies. But the one thing I will say is FBAs, I do agree with you. We are hilarious. We are hilarious. We're the kings and queens of being hilarious. And we can get real petty real quick. Okay? Okay. Now, before I was so rudely interrupted by this anus, I'd like to also give a shout out to Remy85. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Exactly, Aquarius. FBA stay rent-free in their brains. If I'd have known I would have had a place to stay rent-free, I wouldn't waste money on the mortgage. Keep it 100 with you. Exactly. Get your affairs in order. You wasting time being over here. When Tom Homan come knocking, I don't want you crying and kicking and trying to hold on to the door. Just get your suitcase and walk on out with dignity. All right? Now let's get back over here to the fear in the white man's eyes over here.
I mean, is Minneapolis Somali majority? I know there's a big Somalian population in Minneapolis. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've been in and out of the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport many times. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, fine. So does the guy, is he going to be like the lady from Guatemala who wants to be Guatemala first and American second, the U.S. Congresswoman? Is this guy going to be for Americans first and then Somalia? Oh, this is wild stuff. Wild stuff.
Yes, family, this is wild stuff. But the only people that actually have any type of political capital to call it out, to be honest with you, it's not them. It's us. And here we go, having to do the dirty work and to making sure people are educated about this whole situation.
A lot of people on the internet are just now hearing the name Omar Fateh. For those of you that don't know, he's a current state senator here in the Minneapolis Twin Cities area, and he has announced that he is running to be the Democrat-endorsed candidate for mayor of Minneapolis.
But this summer, you're going to be seeing a lot more of them because we deserve nice things in Minneapolis too. To make an affordable Minneapolis that works for everyone, we need a mayor that works as hard as you do.
Now, I like to refer to him as the Mamdani of the Midwest because he is just like Mamdani in basically every political stance that he has.
By increasing the minimum wage to $20 by 2028 and passing rent stabilization to stop price gouging and incentivizing new construction, we can protect workers. Protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE. Whether
protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump. Protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump. What are all of our communities? There should only be the American community, right? Foundational Black Americans and the rest of the Americans. All of our communities, like I said, these people are making it very, very clear where their loyalty lies. Illegals, you're a part of our community too. Salute to our sister, Miss Nisi. Thank you for being a member for 5 months. That is a blessing and much love to you. I appreciate your ongoing contribution, sister. And shout out and shalom to our sister, Tasting Teas with Tony. Thank you for being here. Much love to you. It is always a pleasure.
For an immigration raid or not. Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump and say, immigration raid or not. Is not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not. From Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not. From Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not.
Like I said, family, these folks have shown their cards and they are doubling down. These are the double down Dems. It's all about making sure their homelands are good while destabilizing our homeland here. Let me re-say that. I got to restate that. It's all about making sure their homelands are good while destabilizing our homeland here. Because as many of them say, they can go right back home if anything pops off. They have somewhere else to go if anything pops off. So like my sister Bad says, they're coming with that Trojan horse energy. Salute to our sister Mia Kim. They really want to take over. That's why they talking crap over here instead of improving their own countries. Exactly. If all of these people are Somalian now, right? These all Omar, Ilhan Omar, Deqa, all of these are Somalians. If you got so many Somalians who's interested in politics and holding public office, why aren't y'all back home fixing your homeland? Because you have people such as yourself to do so. You only became interested in politics when you were brought here? I'm just confused. Salute to Rain Davis. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you.
Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump and say, no, not in our community.
And it's looking like the exact same scenario is going to play out when it comes to who the Democrats are going to pick in their primary to represent the Democrat nomination going into the 2025 mayoral race in Minneapolis. Mamdani was light years ahead of Cuomo when it came to galvanizing all of these different groups. In the same way, Omar Fateh is doing the exact same thing. He's already been endorsed in his state Senate run by the Democrat Socialists of America, and already in this mayoral race, they've come out and endorsed him. He has a whole host of other establishment Democrats across the Twin Cities who have also endorsed him. The truth of the matter is, Minneapolis has the same problem as New York City. The Democrats allowed the far left, the Marxists, the socialists, to have political power, and they have now taken over. And there's really no way to stop this beast once you've unleashed it into your political apparatus. Now, it is entirely possible that the current Minneapolis mayor, who also was endorsed by the Democrats the last go around, he won that primary, Jacob Frey, can actually beat him in a primary, Omar Fateh. I don't think that's very likely. Now, when it comes to the general election, kind of have the same problem that you do with New York City, rank choice voting. And so I don't think that, really, honestly, Jacob Frey has any chance of beating Omar Fateh if he can't win the primary. Even if he drops and decides to run as an independent, I don't think that there's enough political capital that Jacob Frey has retained in order to beat Omar Fateh. But I also can't tell you the exact future. I don't have a crystal ball.
Well, and that's the problem with a lot of these demo-ran states that literally have these super Dems there, right? Like, you know, New York, California. If you want to get a Dem in, you're going to 9 times out of 10 get them in there in those locations. And now we can add Minneapolis to the list. Shalom to Breeze Omega. Thank you for being here, family, as well as Heartfelt Center. Thank you for being here. Simon, thank you for being here. Simmons, excuse me. Tarvis Mayweather, Thank you for being here, family. If I said your name incorrectly, please correct me in the chat. I appreciate it. Hold it to my head, not my heart. Let's let the brother continue.
Now, as an aside, I know a couple of great candidates that are running to be mayor of Minneapolis that happen to be right of center, and they're not crazy people. However, I'm not super optimistic based off of what time of the year it already is. We're not that far away from the election. I think what we're looking at about 4 months until the general election. So I'm not too optimistic about it, if we're being super honest. I hope they can find a way to win. And you know what? They might be able to pull off an amazing miracle. And I think that that's always a possibility.
Much love to Salute. Thank you for being here, family. Let me address that. We need our own FBA party. I'm gonna be honest with you, family. I don't think we need a FBA party. I think that we should utilize our political capital within the two-party system that there is. Here's the thing. If we know, let me rephrase that. Let me put it like this. Right now we have leverage. We have a situation where the Democrats see that we don't rock with them. They're not moving us off of our square. They're not moving the needle when it comes to us. They're not getting us off the couch. You feel what I'm saying? So right now, we just caused them to dip, take a complete nosedive. We just torched the Democratic plantation. So right now, they're trying to find new constituents. They're not going to be able to do so. The only thing that they can do is come back to us hat in hand. Or we can sit this out and let the Republicans continue to do what the hell they're going to do. But on the opposite side, we can also utilize this energy for the Republicans, because if the Republicans know that we're not willing to go out and vote for these Democrats, then 9 times out of the 10, a lot of our rhetoric they're going to use as well. And that right there is going to be like a tug of war situation. This is what you want, right? Because let's here's a hypothetical, right? Let's say in the 2026 elections, right, the midterms, let's say they do polling. And all the polling shows, because they have internal polls that nobody else sees, different from the polls that they introduce to the public, right? So the polls that they introduced to the public, they're always fluctuating. So they use those polls in order to make each party think that they're ahead of the next party, right? But the internal polls shows exactly where they're standing with the actual people. This is why you had people coming out saying that they saw that Kamala Harris was losing in the internal polls, even though they were out in the public making it seem as if she was winning. They did that as a strategy, which didn't work. If the Republicans see that they're really neck and neck with the Democrats because of the fact they're not getting any new voters, then guess what they're going to be forced to do? They're going to be forced to start speaking to foundational Black American interests. This is how we should play the political system. The political system is a tool. Your vote is a tool. So when it comes down to the party, understand how the tool is used for both of those parties. Now, if we have an FBA party, which sounds good, we can run our own candidates. We can do that without a party. But then when it's time to run, people will already know where our loyalty lies, where our party interest lies, because we have that party. They know that we're not going to vote Democrat. They know we're not going to vote Republican. They know we're going to vote FBA. And in a sense, that would just be us doing what we're doing now. So I honestly don't believe we need to go off and create a whole different party. I just believe we need to stay on code. And then when we come across candidates that are on code, then we put our support behind them. The powers to be are anticipating this. Therefore, we must do something totally different. We're talking about a system that's been crooked for hundreds of years. FBA always. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. And what we're doing differently, because here's the thing. We are doing something differently. Whether you know it or not, and whether they're showing that we're winning or not, we're doing something differently. And that's literally utilizing our power, utilizing our political capital, utilizing our strengths. Like I said, we just literally make the Democratic Party crash and burn for the first time in 60 years. That wasn't just done all willy-nilly. That was done because we're doing something different. And ain't nobody moving us off of the square of doing things for our interest. If you want to vote, you want our vote, give us something that our community needs. We have certain interest and things that is necessary. Like our sister Key Prince says, vote our interests and tangibles. Let's keep this 100 and keep it very simple and very plain. We're already moving in a direction towards where we want to go. We're on the train already. We don't need to fragment the tracks, if that makes any sense. We just got to keep on moving forward in the way that we're moving. Because like I said, we are making noise because we're doing something absolutely different from what we've been doing for 60 plus years. But salute to you. Much love to you. Thank you for being here.
I just wanted to say that I don't hope that Omar Fateh wins. I don't. It's just that I don't see the electorate making a different choice. And also, it doesn't mean that I don't believe that Republicans shouldn't try and stop it from happening, because they should. We should. The people that live there should. I'm going to tell everyone I can, don't vote for a far left socialist. Vote for someone that's right of center or common sense. But more specifically, Republican, because, you know, I'm a Republican and I support Republicans. The other part of me is like, you know what?
Now, I will disagree with this man on that. I'm not telling anybody who to vote for. I'm telling people exactly what they should be looking at voting for. So if you're not being brought anything, I wouldn't be promoting no party, like how this dude just said, you know, specifically the Republicans, because I'm a Republican. And I respect that. He's a Republican. He let it be known. Me, I'm not either. And I'm a strict 100% no tangibles, no vote type of person. I am a one issue voter. Even though we have several issues, I compile all that into one issue, and that's called tangibles. That's it. So I just got to throw that caveat in there. I don't want people thinking just because I played this clip that I'm agreeing with him as a Republican. No, no, no. What's good for the gander is good for the geese. Or what's good for the geese is good for the gander.
Let the people have what they want. Let them realize how terrible and awful it truly can be having a far leftist Marxist in control of their city. And then, and only then, will the Minneapolis residents hit rock bottom and realize, yeah, we can't do this anymore.
So, family, that's that. That's the Omar Fateh guy. That is the Omar Fateh guy. Shalom and salute to Ishmael Bull. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you as always. Now let's talk about this Zohran Mamdani guy out in New York City. You all might remember him from this situation with ICE. Hold up. Oh, we gonna do that today? You're gonna be doing that? You want to be starting something? Let me pull you down for a second. Hold on. Give me 1 second, family. I don't know what's going on with this clip. All right, well, damn this clip. We'll just continue. This is the same guy who was running around the courts screaming at ICE when they were there taking away people who didn't get, or where they went to their asylum and they didn't get the asylum that they were seeking. He was there screaming in the face of the ICE officers and things like that. Now they're trying to make him this darling sweetheart out there in New York. Let's try going here. Let's see if this one will work.
There you go, Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg gets to buy another island.
I was trying to hold in a cough and I started crying.
Look who he was sitting there with. Family, there was a news article that came out about this interview that they did with each other. And they literally entitled it An African and an Indian Discussion. Because, you know, she's pretending. She pretended to be Indian in order to get a scholarship. So you got the $5 Indian sitting with the $5 African. Yeah, that's what's happening here. Salute to Drew Laston. Thank you for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution, family. Yeah, ye old Pocahontas herself. Pretend to harness. The $5.
Oh, I thought you were just being tender. I feel the same way. I bring this out in people. I really do.
This is literally a campaign video, family. This is a campaign video. Salute to Zohran Scott. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. This is literally a campaign video that he put out. You don't run that back.
There you go, Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg gets to buy another island.
I was trying to hold in a cough and I started crying.
Oh, I thought you were just being tender. I feel the same way. I bring this out in people. I really do.
Catch some water.
Exactly, Breeze. You could tell it's phony. Phonier than a $2 bill. Sorry, phonier than a $3 bill. Even phonier than a $22 bill. Curry and pasty sitting in a tree. Much love to you for that. Her pawpaw was Choctaw. Yeah. Let's go here, family, because I want you to see the type of machine that they put behind this guy. So you know what the Democrats had to do. They brought out their little, TikTok gangers and started actually promoting this Zohran guy and trying to make it seem like he's actually against the establishment, while Andrew Cuomo and Donald Trump, and they made sure to tie Andrew Cuomo and Donald Trump together. They're trying to take the election away from Zohran. Let's go here, family. Salute to Don't Mess with FBA. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you.
I need you to be serious. I need you to be fucking serious for a second. We all know that Andrew Cuomo had his ass kicked in the primary, okay? We all know that the Democratic Party is full of shit, because if a progressive had run a primary and had their asses kicked, like he had his ass kicked by Zohran, and then ran third party in the general to try to undermine the person who won, they'd all be having a fucking meltdown. They'd all be saying he was causing disunity and needed to drop out and back the nominee. But of course they're not, because they're full of shit and they never mean it. They just do the unity and vote blue no matter who routine in order to push the corporatists, in order to always push the establishment candidate. That's why the Democrats literally banned in their Reddit any talk of democratic socialism, which is amazing. Okay, so let's get to this ridiculous tweet. Here's this clown thinking that he's owning Zohran. He's really taking the gloves off. It's no.
You notice how she's champion. She's really being a champion for Zohran, right? Salute to Climb James. The answer to the title is hell no. I feel you 100-fold. I feel you 100-fold. Shalom and salute to our family. Willie McKinley in the house. Much love to you. Notice how she's being a champion for Zohran. She is serving. She got to serve up Cuomo and serve up Trump. Okay.
No more Mr.
Making it seem like the people's behind him.
Nice guy. He's working with all of his Trump donors and all of the Zionist billionaires in New York to try to take Mamdani down. We're going to go through it and dismantle this dumb bitch bit by bit. But before I do, I want to remind everybody that no matter how much billionaire money they put in it, no matter how much Zionist propaganda and Trump donors they put behind him, I want you all to remember that you are not powerless in this. It was young people that drove Mamdani's win. He built a multiracial working class coalition of
family. No, it wasn't young people. It was a bunch of people who are tied to illegals. A bunch of people who don't want to see the illegals go. Because Mayor Eric Adams, he's actually working with ICE. Yeah. So the people who are out there waving a fist are a bunch of libtards who don't want the status quo to change. Exactly. Multiracial. No. That would imply that you had FBAs out there. You didn't. You might have had whites out there, but you know, whites, y'all split upon the parties anyway. You put on jackets and take it off like the political jacket, like a goddamn regular jacket, like a hoodie that you just bought. Y'all switch your allegiances when the time fits you. And everyone else is what? Immigrants. People who are tied to illegals or who came here and became citizens. Let me speed this up because I don't want, this is an 8-minute clip here, family. We ain't going to spend all our time on her.
A lot of people, so much so to the point where when Andrew Cuomo went to the fucking Hamptons, where his real constituency is, rich people, to bitch about Mamdani, he lamented how shocked he was that Mamdani won so much of the Jewish vote.
Notice that she'll bring up the fact that Cuomo's constituents are the rich people, but she won't bring up Zohran's background. You know how his mother was a famous actress, how his father was a professor, how he grew up privileged, how he has land in Uganda that's apparently worth $250,000. He also have land somewhere else. I forget the name of the other country that they said that he has land, but he has land in 2 different countries outside of America. He's spending $2,300 according to him for his rent. I'm just saying, why aren't you mentioning any of these things? But you're trying to make him a champion of the poor. Now, he could have been raised and decided to, I don't like the way I was raised with money. Now, let me go and help the people without it. But even saying that out loud, I have to also say, I most likely doubt it. Usually when you're raised with money, you're not down in the slums trying to champion policies for the people in the slums. I say that because we're going to get into his background. But the people who are out here that the Democrats were sending out in order to prop him up the same way they were sending out people to prop up Kamala, the same way they send out people to prop up Crackhead Crockett, the same way they send out people to prop up the CLBC, the same way they send out people to prop up the Congressional Coon Caucus. This is what you're seeing right here.
As well as so much of the young people under 40, people under 30 really showed up for him. And that really spooked Andrew Cuomo because the parties are used to only older people showing up to vote. They are used to younger people not participating. So just keep that in mind. Remember that. You are not powerless. You need.
Also, family, remember when Biden first got into office? Who were they saying was the people put him in office? They said it was black folks, but more specifically, they were saying it was the younger generation that did it. Right? Oh, the young people understand we need to be able to move forward. But then when we start looking into the numbers, that's not what we saw. In the very same way they tried to make it seem as if black folks was right there behind Kamala. All the book, they still say that to this day. The majority of the black community voted for Kamala. And we still to this day have to make people aware. No, that is a percentage of a percentage. The majority of our community sat it out. And the lamestream media mentioned that one time and never mentioned it again. So this is the exact same playbook that they've been using. They're only using it now for this Zohran, Mamdani.
To show up with the same fucking energy you showed up for in the primary. Okay, so his latest strategy is to try to undermine Zohran Mamdani by trying to make it seem like he's rich and taking people's houses. Somewhere last night in New York City, a single mother and her children slept in a homeless shelter because you, Assemblyman Zohran, are occupying her rent-controlled apartment. Honestly, anybody who really pays attention to New York City politics or politics in general, that should be disqualifying. If you really are a progressive, if you really are somebody who is like liberal-minded, you care about working class people, you care about the poor, you want to address the homelessness issue, that should be a huge red flag to you. That should have set off your alarm bells because what he's doing is he's taking a systemic problem that he has contributed to and trying to make it about one person. This is giving the same energy of when people go, we need to tax the rich. We need to fund.
That part I will agree with her on. That part I would agree with her on. The fact that he did use a situation that he helped contribute to then point the finger at Zohran, that is a political trick as well. Good for her for knowing that. Clap, clap, clap. However, you're not calling out the situation of Zohran being included in that problem as well. So as a person who's commentating on the situation, instead of being there to give your non-biased opinion, you already have a bias. And so even though he's bringing up a situation that he was involved in, he's bringing up a situation that Zohran is also involved in. And so you should be able to have a clear-cut breakdown of this situation without bias. That's what I just did. Both men were wrong. And yeah, I agree. If you're involved in that situation, neither one of you should be using that situation as a political tool. It doesn't make sense to do so.
Fundamentally restructure our tax code, and some idiot capitalist bootlicker will go, tax the rich. If you want to help the poor so much, why don't you donate to a charity from your check? As if that addresses shit. And you really don't need to be a leftist, socialist, Marxist, commie, whatever the fuck, in order to understand that that is an oligarch talking point. That is a right-wing billionaire class talking point. Everybody knows that the issue with rent is not one guy living in a rent-controlled apartment, which, by the way, he fucking grew up here. Like, why is he acting like he just moved here 5 minutes ago? And second of all, what I need people to realize is that he is trying to trigger people's rage about the income inequality and the unaffordability in New York City by putting it on Zohran, by putting it on a single person, rather than putting it on the people in charge. People like Andrew Cuomo. This bitch was a major contributor as to why New York is so unaffordable. Hundreds of thousands of poor and working class families are priced out of the city every single year, have had to move out of the city every single year because of bitches like this working on behalf of the real estate industry, private equity, and hedge funds instead of working on behalf of the regular people in New York City. Look at this bitch's donors. All he does is take money from the rich. All he does is take money from Trump donors. All he does is take money from Zionist billionaires and big real estate and fucking private equity. You think that this clown is going to do anything to address the unhoused situation or people being priced out of the city?
All right, family, y'all get the you get the point. You know what? I was gonna say something about that. The white girl mullet. I don't know if it is, but it looked like it is. It looked like she got the side of her head shaved. I'm just saying. I didn't know for certain, and that's why I didn't bring it up. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Salute AO, she's a paid actress. I wouldn't be surprised if she was. Salute IO Ma 7 ABCD. The answer to the question? The answer is no. I'm tired of these destiny swappers. That's right. Destiny swapping. It's obvious now. Yeah. It's obvious by now. Absolutely. Salute, Rage. Thank you for being here, Roger. I was about to call you Rage. Much love to you, Roger. Thank you for being here, family. Let's see here. I want to go here because we get the point with her. Let's go here. Because like I said, they're trying to make it a bigger situation that Cuomo and Trump are teaming up against him to make sure he doesn't win.
I would be remiss if I did not directly address some of the news that we saw come out just a few hours ago, which is that the president of this country, Donald Trump, has been coordinating with Andrew Cuomo in direct conversation with the former governor. It is Trump billionaires who have been opposing our campaign's vision for a city that New Yorkers can afford. It is Donald Trump himself who has been directly conspiring with candidates who have decided to give up the people that they are supposed to protect in lieu of securing power through the assistance of that same administration in Washington, D.C. This should be a race about addressing the questions of who will make the city affordable, who will ensure that each and every New Yorker is safe, who will bring our city forward, not an audition for the best jester for Donald Trump and his billionaire supporters. whatever Donald Trump seeks to do to influence the outcome of this election, I have more faith in New Yorkers themselves, who have shown, whether it be in the previous presidential election or whether it be through this primary race, that they do not want to support our current president's vision of a New York City that is ripping immigrants from their homes, that is detaining New Yorkers on the basis of political expression, that in fact what they want is someone who can stand up to an authoritarian administration and to the billionaires that gave us that administration.
All right, family. So let's get into some of the things, because I'm gonna be honest with you, and I understand his position, but Eric Adams, he's blaming Cuomo for Zohran's win. And he's basically saying that, you know, Cuomo wants him to step aside so that he can actually run in the main election for mayor. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Adams, I understand you. And no, you shouldn't step to the side. Matter of fact, let me just play the clip real quick, and then we'll touch on what he had to say. Not this again. Hold up. While we're fixing this, let me give a B1 salute and shalom to our sister Bad72. Thank you very much for your Cashapp donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. Okay, these people really don't want this being played. All right, well, screw it. We won't play this. Let's go here, family. I wanted to get to, I guess, the people that's calling these folks out, because you got to look at the policies that these people are trying to put into or try to implement, but also you got to look at what they're not trying to do, which is protect actual citizens. They're out here trying to protect non-citizens and then create programs and implement things that's going to benefit immigrants. Here's the thing, family. A lot of these folks, these socialists, what they're trying to do is basically turn this whole thing upside down by making it all about classism, right? Now that foundational Black Americans has tipped the whole scale over, now that we're saying, hey, y'all gonna pay what you owe, or you're not gonna get our votes, these folks are going out trying to tip over our claim for reparations. Because if everything's about class and they start just doing flat programs, then there's no need for anybody to complain, right? This is their thinking. And they're thinking that they're going to pull in all the, and this is just the strategy of the Democrats. They just hope that people hate Trump so much that that people don't understand what they are doing. My whole goal is to make sure that you continue to hate Trump. This man is running for mayor, but yet he tried to tie and made sure to bring Trump's name into it to say that, yeah, he links up with Cuomo and we cannot allow the Trump agenda to win in our state and in our city. And they're trying to bring this class agenda, and we already said this several times over. There is no competition in what's the problem. The problem is not class. The problem is white supremacy. But by them trying to put through all these socialist policies, they're basically saying, hey, let's concentrate on class. Let's make it for everybody. Let's make everything affordable for everybody, instead of going back and saying, hey, Foundational Black Americans have been discriminated against and deprived of these type of policies. We need to make sure we have some policies so foundational Black Americans can be brought up to where they need to be. As long as they're doing just flat out programs across the board, our issues will never be addressed. Because guess what? The people that they're going to be doing that stuff for, the program's going to be for, flat out across the board, are going to be people that are immigrants, people who are illegals, and people who did not suffer through any of the economic deprivation that foundational Black Americans have suffered through. So we're consistently left behind while everybody is getting pulled up, even if that pertains to us in a small percentage. While everybody is up, the farther up they're pulled, we're still farther behind everyone else who has not been deprived economically in the way that we've been. Exactly. They're trying to erase FBA. They done did it on paper several times over with the reclassification. They done did it economically several times over by bringing in the illegals and putting them in our neighborhoods and making sure that they center those illegals. And they're trying to do it here with this whole lift all boats nonsense. This socialist agenda that really, to be honest with you, nobody had a problem with capitalism until we just decided to stand up for our part in the capital. If it wasn't for us saying, hey, hell no, we ain't allowing this. We're deserved A, B, and C. We're owed A, B, and C due to A, B, and C. Nobody would have a problem with capitalism because each and every one of these people come over here to eat off that capitalistic system. So all of a sudden, and this is how you know people are disingenuous, all of a sudden, the same system that you've been benefiting from for all this time is an enemy to you. And now, instead of allowing us to get what we are owed from the system, you're now trying to change the system to make sure we stay and maintain a permanent underclass due to us already being behind in this system. Let's be very clear about this. Salute to you, Davis. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Also, salute to the big black God. Thank you for your Cashapp donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. Family, this is what it's all about. And this is why I wanted to bring this today. Should these people be allowed to run for office, especially when they're coming from different places that they claim we have made, that we have created destitution in? Peace and shalom to our sister FBA Queen. Thank you for your super chat, family, and I appreciate your contribution as always. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I'm so late, but I want to hear. Much love to you. It does. You got the replay, family. It does not matter that you're late. Better late than never, as my mother always told me. Much love to you, my sister. Family, let's let this man continue. Let's get into this clip here, because I want you to see that there are a lot of people calling this nonsense out, because it makes no sense to allow these people to be in office when they have a clear loyalty somewhere else.
I will be your Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City.
Zohran Mamdani will probably be my next mayor. He's popular, winning more primary votes than any mayoral candidate in New York City history. People like him because he's good looking, charismatic. The media can't get enough of him.
And joining me now is Zohran Mamdani.
They also like him because he's
A proud democratic socialist.
a democratic socialist, like AOC.
I am here loud and proud to rank Zohran Mamdani #1 for mayor of New York.
So you got another one with loyalties that lie other places. Who's giving him her endorsement? The most annoying woman in the world outside of Jasmine Crockett, Alexandria Acosta. Well, just because I have DNA that's black doesn't mean I'm black. Cortez. Waving a Puerto Rican flag. Interesting. Salute Thomas the Attack Engine. Much love to you.
City.
They and most of the media have something in common.
Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism.
I don't usually cover local politics, but I'll make an exception for Mamdani because what he believes is what so many privileged young people believe. And these socialist ideas are just stupid. In this video and the next, we'll look at why socialist policies always.
Salute Aquarius Binding, Dora and Haji. Oh man, Haji and Dora. I thought it was Diego. Dora didn't upgrade it, I guess, or is it a downgrade? Man,
backfire.
Socialism. Terrifying word.
Mamdani mocks those who fear socialism. He says democratic socialism just means
The commitment to dignity. A state that provides whatever is necessary for its people to live a dignified life.
that sounds nice, but a dignified life is not what socialism brings. Mamdani was more honest about that before he ran for mayor.
The end goal of seizing the means of production.
Seizing the means of production. That means government controls most everything.
wait, family, hold on. I just realized something, and we got to talk about it just real quick. Thank you for bringing this up, Breeze. ALC says she's Jewish too, right? It's really funny that this is the Zohran guy. He's the dude that was running around talking about how he wasn't going to take any money from Israel AIPAC. He wasn't going to go kiss the wall. He wasn't going to go to Israel because there are issues that need to be fixed right there in New York. And everybody was eating that up. But all the people that he's been around thus far rock with AIPAC. All the people that he's had around him that I saw thus far rocks with AIPAC. That ain't suspicious to some people. All the folks that was going around endorsing him rocks with AIPAC. I just find it incredibly, incredibly suspicious. Maybe it's just me though.
To house poor people, government should take over apartment buildings.
Whether you call it the abolition of private property or you call it, just a statewide housing guarantee, it is preferable to what is going on right now.
But abolition of private property has been tried. Everywhere.
Family, how many of you want to give up your private property for government ownership? You see, foundational Black Americans already understand that, government, if they want, they'll just take your private property anyway. It's called eminent domain. And as foundational Black Americans, we've gone through we're the number one group that's gone through eminent domain in this country. So we already know how taking private land and making it a government property really don't work out too well for certain people. We just know that because it's within our history. Exactly. my sister, urban development. We already know where this lies, where it leads to. Just saying, these folks are trying to push something that we already know is a problem for us. Now, if government owns all the properties, then guess who don't have a say in who lives where? Guess who don't have a say in where the resources go? I'm just saying, like, these are things that people need to think about. Exactly. They displaced FBA intentionally. And they want us to believe that government taking over private properties is a good thing. Well, somebody who's an immigrant to the country may believe that because they don't have the history of the country to fall back on. And I say this, and I got to play this again. Shout out to our sister for saying this.
But the axe forgets, the tree remembers. You can't have a short memory and be black. You open yourself up for attack. You got to have a long memory because you're singing a long song. Y'all feel me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
They sending us in a loop all over again. They say history will repeat itself. But what I say is it'll only repeat itself if you choose not to see that history. Right? So in other words, history only repeats itself if you don't know what that history is. If you can see the same thing that happened in the past on the horizon again, you can now change what your future will become. What's the saying? Those who don't know the past is doomed to repeat it. And that's why it's very important that we're calling all this out. Because I'd be damned if we're going to go back to that whole situation where the government tell people where they can live, where they can't live, where the government tells people who's going to get resources and who's not. No. We're already dealing with that. We're moving past all that. We're not taking those steps back. Salute Black RU. Self-knowledge is a must. Exactly. Knowledge of self is a must. Exactly. Much love to you for that. That is absolutely correct. Knowledge of self, knowledge of political history, knowledge of economics, past economics. All these things are necessary in order for us to push ourselves forward. So when we see stuff like this, we can call this shit out with the quickness. Salute Archie Thomas. Thank you for being here, family.
It's been tried. Government ownership wrecks lives. Here's what grocery stores sometimes look like in socialist Venezuela. Yet Mamdani says,
I will create a network of city-owned grocery stores whose mission is lower prices, not price gouging. These stores will operate without a profit motive and will pass on those savings to you.
No profit motive. That appeals to people. But the profit motive is exactly what keeps stores stocked. And
now, family, let me tell you why this is a stupid idea. One, if the government is creating grocery stores, who's funding the government to do so? It's going to be who? The citizens. The citizens of the city funds the government. Then the government creates, if the government creates these grocery store chains, not only are you funding the grocery store chains, but then you must go in and purchase from these same grocery store chains that is being funded by your tax dollars. So you're basically being double taxed. You're being taxed in order to fund these grocery stores, and then you got to go spend more money to get the food. Why not just allow me to go and buy food where I want to go buy food? Why not allow me to just go buy food where I want to go buy food? Salute to our brother Antithesis in the building. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here. That's why this doesn't make any sense. So not only am I going to be paying for these so quote unquote government funded or government sanctioned grocery stores, but then I'm gonna have to take more of my money to go and purchase food from these grocery stores. Back in the day, that was called double taxation without representation. That was the whole reason why the Tea Party kicked off. Let me run this back a little bit.
Motive that appeals to people, but the profit motive is exactly what keeps stores stocked and why we spend much less on food than we did 100 years ago, and why we have more options.
Hundreds of sales every week.
We have choices because capitalists must compete to get your dollars. Compare your experience at your profit-seeking grocery store to
dysfunction at the DMV.
Government services bring tedious bureaucracy.
People say hours-long waits have been greeting them at the doors.
I don't want my grocery store run like that.
Shelves are empty at an East Kansas City grocery store that's gotten millions of dollars from taxpayers.
Cities have tried subsidizing groceries, but the results aren't pretty.
A rotten smell comes through the door, and anywhere you turn, you'll see products that need to be restocked.
Salute to I am Kiera. Thank you for being here, family. She says, Venezuela is doomed. Yeah, and they want us to doom ourselves here too. Also, salute to LaShawn Kent. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. And I want to touch on this. You're absolutely right. So that's a 3-time tax. You're getting taxed in order to keep the damn grocery stores going. You got to go in there, pay for your groceries, and then you're getting taxed on that. Only people that will really benefit off of that situation is people on welfare, because they're not getting taxes taken from them and they're getting food stamps. So it would be people paying taxes who are not on the government welfare. They're going to be footing the bill, while people who's on welfare is just going to be able to continue to eat for free and contribute nothing to those places that everyone else is contributing to.
The results aren't pretty.
A rotten smell comes through the door, and anywhere you turn, you'll see products that need to be restocked.
I watch people walk in and walk out. Yet Mamdani promises
city-owned grocery stores with guaranteed lower prices.
Even if Mamdani's stores work better, they'll cost tax dollars and take customers from businesses that pay taxes.
How are you going to try to come in and disrupt our livelihood?
Mamdani doesn't discuss how subsidies destroy private tax-paying competition. He just says socialism helps everyone by taking from the ultra-rich.
Do you think that billionaires have a right to exist?
I don't think that we should have billionaires.
Mamdani says he'll fund his handouts by taxing the rich. But wealth taxes never bring in what's promised.
People don't work to pay taxes.
Economist Art Laffer famously pointed out that at a certain level, higher taxes stop bringing in more money because rich people work hard to escape high taxes.
They'll change where they earn their income. They'll change how they earn their income. They'll change how much they earn when they receive the income. They'll change all of those things to minimize taxes.
They will leave the United States.
This billionaire once told me that if New York's taxes go up, rich people will just leave.
You haven't left.
I haven't left yet.
Are you going to leave?
Big story if I leave, I guess. If I leave New York, that's a big story.
He did eventually leave.
The rich people are going to leave, and other people are going to leave. You're going to end up with lots of people that don't produce, and then that's the spiral. That's the end.
It's why Europe acts its way.
Now, I hate to agree with Trump on that one. I hate to agree that you're going to end up, if you, depending on how much you raise those taxes. Now, I understand raising it 1-2%, something like that, but this is true for anybody, not just the rich. You raise taxes in a state, that people can't afford, they're going to leave. And what he's saying is he's depending on putting a tax on the rich in order to pay for all these damn stores. But you're a mayor. You don't have the power to do that. That's not within the realm of your power. So who's going to be the people who actually pays for it? The everyday citizen. And seeing how New York is a safe haven for illegals, it's going to be foundational Black Americans and white Americans. And the legal, immigrants that are here. That's who's going to be paying for it, while the illegals is getting everything rent-free. The man want to give housing. They'll be getting housing the same way they were getting during Biden. The freaking free food. He wants to give everything to these people rent-free, dollar-free, while taxing the average citizen to do so. I would agree with that, my sister. I would agree with that. Trying to turn New York into a third world country. I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Taxes. Millionaires just left, even if you don't like rich people. Losing them means losing tax revenue and jobs. In America, it's even easier to leave your city or state. Millions have already done that, fleeing places like California, New York, and Illinois. Mamdani sometimes knows this.
We are talking about our tax base growing smaller and smaller each day, with New Yorkers leaving.
Everybody's going to check out a Dodge while that guy's around.
It's crazy. It's not like this is a new idea. Does Mamdani even know that his state already tried high taxes on the rich? They didn't work.
We projected that we'd get $4 billion, and we actually got well short of it.
Maryland tried it too.
It was supposed to bring in $106 million. That's
right.
What happened?
They lost $257 million. Surprise.
Well, I'm surprised.
Nobody should be surprised. They're out of here. These people aren't stupid.
Do Mamdani supporters think this time will be different? In my next video, I'll cover more bad ideas from the socialists. Just economic policy. I'll skip things like defunding the police, globalize the intifada, and Mamdani's lack of experience. The socialist economic proposals, like his $30 minimum wage, are bad enough.
All right, family. So a lot more people are seeing it for what it is. And this is what you're getting from these folks who are not citizens, well, who are new citizens to America. Whenever you see Americans, and it's hilarious that the person that made this meme made sure to put a tether there, Drake. But anyway, yeah, when it comes to Americans, it's a hell no. But when it comes to Somalia, Freedom House scored, and then Uganda, Freedom House score, it's a hell yeah. They're not here for us. And even other immigrants know it. Let's go here.
Tell me how Zohran is going to pay for free childcare, free buses, when he's going to step into office on the first day and he's going to realize actually the mayor doesn't have any power to raise money on the rich, and that was his plan to pay for all this crap to begin with. I'll tell you how he's going to pay for it. He's going to pay for it by raising property taxes, raising other taxes in any way that he can. The thing you got to understand is I'm from South Richmond Hill. People in the outer boroughs over there, they don't have these big fancy corporate tech jobs. They're not celebrities with fat salaries. The way they make their money is they own maybe a deli across the street, or they own a spice shop, or they work there. And those people are the ones that are going to absorb these higher taxes that he's going to use to generate income for his ill-conceived ideas that won't even get anybody out of poverty to begin with. His whole plan is going to only hurt middle to lower income Black and brown people in New York City. If you have some big fancy fat tech job, or you're a high income earner in New York City, Zohran's policies will not affect you. It'll affect people that I grew up with, Black and brown people in South Richmond Hill, where I work in Flatbush or in Brookdale. It'll affect people where I went to high school in the Bronx. These are the people that are going to affect it. So all the rich white people that voted for him because they think that they're doing something good for minorities, you effed up. But don't push your vote through November, because the guy's a scam artist.
So, like I said, the immigrants know it. And guess what? We do too.
You asked me to expose Zohran Mamdani, so let's get into it. So Mamdani is the leading candidate in the race to become New York's new mayor, and he proudly boasts about being a democratic socialist. He declares a war on billionaires, all the while his parents own a $2 million condo in Chelsea, New York. Also own
a $2 million condo in Chelsea, New York. I wonder why little mullet Barbie over here didn't mention any of that. Interesting. Okay. Let her cook.
A home in Kampala, Uganda, and many other places elsewhere. Zohran Mamdani's mom and Oscar are billionaires. All the while, his parents own a $2 million condo in Chelsea, New York. They also own a home in Kampala, Uganda.
Kampala, Uganda. That was the other one that I couldn't remember.
And many other places elsewhere. Zohran Mamdani's mom, an Oscar-nominated filmmaker. Her net worth, people estimate anywhere from $5 million to $22 million, but point is, she's a multimillionaire. And his father, a Columbia University professor, salary ranging anywhere from $185,000 up to about $250,000. Now, my point in all of this, Mamdani came from wealth. Zohran Mamdani lived in luxury in Kampala, Uganda, on a 2-acre cottage that his family owned overlooking Lake Victoria. And at the age of 5, Zohran and his family moved to Cape Town, where his mom was filming a movie and his dad was a professor. And there in Cape Town, Zohran lived in a 3-story home, and as his mother stated, it was a panoramic view of the mother city. Mamdani and his family then moved to New York City at the age of 7, where he resides currently. Zohran attended Bank Street Elementary. That school now costs $66,000 a year for elementary school students. Now, you may be thinking, he lived a privileged upbringing, maybe he didn't like it, and now he decides to no longer profit off of his parents. And now because of that, he has a radical view on wanting to just have no billionaires in existence, but wrong. So in his 33 years of life, he's worked a total of 3 years, from his attempts of being a rapper to being a housing coordinator to only recent years becoming an assembly member of New York City. Now, why do I mention his lack of work experience? He acquired a college degree at a very prestigious private school. He attended Bowdoin College. So you've got to ask, how was he able to afford his prestigious college, as well as then later in life living in the most expensive state, New York? Now, it surely wasn't from his music videos that his mom directed that paid the bills. Now, let me get one thing straight. There's nothing wrong with getting financial assistance from your wealthy parents. But when you campaign on the idea that wealth shouldn't exist, but yet you've been profiting off of it your entire life, now that's a bit hypocritical. His campaign has empty promises. Everything's free, essentially. Free bus rides, free childcare, freeze the rent, and government-run grocery stores, aka.
Oh yeah, FBA Queen. Yeah, we're almost there. Yeah, we say this all the time, and even Kid Gravity, shout out to our brother Kid Gravity Beyond, because he says it all the time. These people want to be famous. They want their piece of Hollywood. Oh, we're gonna get to his rap career. We're definitely going there.
Glorified soup kitchens. He also wants to raise minimum wage in New York to $30 an hour, which by default would have to raise every other position's salary up. This is super unrealistic given the fact that he wants to do this solely off of just raising the taxes on the rich. Zohran has no economic plan other than just raise taxes to pay for everything. And he also wants to defund the police in a state that commits almost 40,000 crimes per year. His quote, "This campaign is for every person who believes in the dignity of their neighbors, and that the government's job is to actually make our lives better." That's his quote. Newsflash, Mamdani, the government does not make money. The government's money is from American taxpayers, fees, licenses, and fines. What's the moral of the story? Mamdani's actions do not line up with his words.
Yeah, he had that silver spoon, my sister. Biryani chicken all over it. Slobbered, it was dripping down his shirt. So yeah, she mentioned his rap career. And family, I'm gonna be honest with you. With the family coming out and saying things like this, I think he might be better going back to his rap career. Let's go here real quick.
I don't give a fuck how good his policies sound. An immigrant should never be able to hold office. Who's making these goddamn laws? This nigga's barely a citizen. What the fuck is going on in New York?
I gotta replay that, family.
I don't give a fuck how good his policies sound. An immigrant should never be able to hold office. Who's making these goddamn laws? This nigga's barely a citizen. What the fuck is going on in New York?
With that, family, with that being the sentiment of most FBAs, to be honest with you, you dig me? When it comes to these type of people who have dual allegiances trying to be in office, we kind of feel like he would be better just going back to his music video days. Y'all want to see some of his music videos, family? Oh, I gotta play it. Let's go. Hold up. Tether. with another tether. Uh-oh. Well, to be fair, I can't call this man a tether. It looks like they're in Africa. He ain't said nothing wrong about us, so I'm just gonna assume. I'm gonna assume that he's not a tether at this point in time, but he is definitely a tether, and he's there with somebody who chases bushmeat. Let's see how this goes.
And I'm telling you twice. So wise. Yet on the Kumasi. A woman yonayetava elugas. It's got me reminiscing like Lilian Babas. Oyagala Kufumbana Yeto Ina Kabas.
I love you very, I love you nice. Some me I hate water, but I love no spice. So I see me a Korean voice. Say, Sebo don't pass, we lose out to Bambe. Tina Sente, Bossy Munyambe. Hey, Buno Munyo Gubamo was from our lake catway. Bossy, Kare Munange. Yamba, now we yambe. Ha, now we yambe. Yeah.
And I'm telling you twice.
Family. Brianni's bushmeat. We got the bushmeat shuffle out here. Oh no. I can't spare you, bad. I can't spare you. If I had to deal with it, you have to deal with it too. Shalom and salute to our sister Sharon Thompson. Thank you for being here, family. Our sister I am Kiera. Yeah. Dust, I've seen it. Antithesis with the bushmeat productions. Yeah. Tandoori bushmeat. The musty slide. Yeah. Let's play that one more time, family. I want to kind of read the words and the caption to see what they were saying in the song. All right. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one because that damn logo. Okay, Lugatsi, got that.
I love you very, I love you nice. Some me I hate.
Why he come in trying to sound like our brother from Digital Underground? Why did he come in trying to sound like our brother from Digital Underground? I am spacing on our brother's name right now, and it is tearing me apart. Shock G, Humpty Hump. Why is he in here trying to sound like Humpty Hump on the mic? Let's run that back.
I love you very, I love you very, I love you nice. Some me I hate water, but I love no spice. So I see me a Korean voice.
Boss, I don't have money. This song is from Lake Katwe. My brother, help me and you'll help yourself. Oh, this is awesome.
And I'm telling you twice.
All right, family. All right. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't that bad. I expected something a lot worse. It wasn't that bad. You know, they got their little musty slide on. You know, the camel Humpty. Love that. No, I didn't say it was whack, though. You're right. I didn't say it was whack. You know, it's better than a lot of the other stuff I heard coming out of Africa. I can't lie. You know, the Dust Foot Shuffle. Oh, I am over. You got that. You got that. But family, here's another one. Hold up.
City card, seems you've forgotten that this is my card. Why you making noise in the massive binika? Kati, Jinika. Yotari, Wadin Kelem driver, the rest habari. Soon wanafamu, it is Jua Kali. The people be shouting, can we have a funny? The driver be saying, not on my planning. Fat things fast.
No, but Sebo, you say you're taking us on the other route. Wait.
Family, these people are actors. At this point, I am convinced that many of these folks that the Democratic Party are propping up are actors. I'm just being honest, especially folks who are coming out of nowhere. We're supposed to trust this person who comes from wealth, who is so wealthy he can run around all around Africa doing songs and, not having to worry about working but 4 years of his whole damn life.
God, city cat, seems you've forgotten that this is my cat. Why you making noise in Gamazi Mubinika? Kati, Jinika. Daktari wa didn't kill him driver, the rest say habari. Soon wanafahamu it is jua kali. The people be shouting, can we have a funny? The driver be saying, not on my planning. Fast things fast. No, but Sebo, you say you're taking us on the other route. Wait.
These are the people they want you to put your trust in. These are the folks they want running your city, want running your state. These people right here. And all of them kind of learn from somebody that we all know and we all hope there's a deportation on the table for. Must levels on 100, huh? Let's go here. Y'all know Ilhan Omar has been doing this for a while. And she's been calling out herself for a while. She's been exposing herself for a while when it comes to her having dual allegiances. Not even dual allegiances, because she made it very clear that her allegiance lies to Somali first.
Ni aan wada dhisano anigu waan ahay gabar Mareykanka laga doortay.
And these folks are always speaking to these people in their home language. Why can't you be at home actually running for office at home? I'm just saying, you come over here and you just start going 0 to 100 for Somalians. What about your constituents?
Ni aan wada dhisano anigu waan ahay gabar Mareykanka laga doortay oo Congress-ka Mareykanka ku jirto. Laakiin waxaan ahay gabar Soomaaliyeed, gabar idinku jinsi ah, gabar idinku af ah, gabar idinku diin ah, oo hadde qof iyadoo da'yar waddankeedii laga kaxeeyo wili xiise u qabto in maalin waddankeedii ay ku noolaato.
Family, this woman just went over there in her own language, speaking to these people, talking, I am a Somali girl who's in Congress. Then she goes on to talk about how she was taken from her country as a young girl and how she wishes she can live in the country that she was taken from. Why aren't you there, Ilhan? Why are you here, Ilhan? Exactly. But this woman has refugee status. She said she was taken from her home as a young girl. And she's voicing right here how she wishes to live there. Let's let it continue because she brings her kids in this.
oo dadkeedii wax ay la wadaagto. Marka alxamdulillah waxaan rajaynayaa aniga iyo ilmahayga in aan hadde ku barbaariyo iyagana ilmahooda ay ku barbaariyaan.
She's hopeful. She's hopeful in quote that she and her children and her children's children can be raised in Somalia, where I was born and raised. So why aren't you there? Why are you claiming asylum when you clearly have an affinity to go back home? She could flee back home with her husband, brother. Much love to you for that. Yeah. I think he would file for a divorce, though. Ain't she married to a white man right now? So she's talking about her kids, her future kids. She's talking about her mixed kids. She want them all to go back and be raised in a land that she's supposed to have been fleeing for whatever reason and getting asylum here. Anybody talking like this should be deported the next day. Well, you said you wanted to go back home. We're just going to help you right along. Here's 2 first-class tickets back to your homeland. And by first class, I really mean, they're just, seats on the back of a military plane.
dhulkii aniga aan ku soo koray taasna haddii ay suurtagelayso waa hadda shaqo badan inaan wada qabanaa hadduu ilaahay yira.
To make that possible, there's a lot of work we need to do together. How are you working with the Somalians in order to do the work that needs to be done in order for you to be able to go back home with your children and raise them there and your children's children if you're over here holding public office here? So basically what you're telling me is that your interest lies in making sure that Somalia is whatever way you visualize it to be in order for you to go back home. I agree, antithesis. Kick her ass out of Congress. Return to sender.
Oo aan ka dhignaa dhulkeena dhul barwaaqadiisa dadka oo dhan ay dareemi.
To make their land a more stable and prosperous place. How do you do that from over here? Unless you're undermining the government here. Interesting.
Karaan oo ay arki karaan oo ay ka wada faa'iideysan karaan. No.
So family, that wasn't the only time. Let's go here.
Annaga haddii aan nahay dad Soomaali ah, waxaan nahay dad isjecel.
We as Somalians love each other. We as Somalians love each other. Salute Maria Kane. Thank you for your Cashapp donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution, family. We as Somali love each other. So why aren't you guys as Somalians back home working on Somalia as Somalians who love other Somalians? Exactly. You love each other, but that's why you fled here to the U.S. claiming asylum. My point, again, why is she here? Scammers and pirates love each other. Yeah, absolutely. Salute Aquarius minded. No, they don't. The gang violence with them in Minnesota is treacherous. Yeah, the same way it is in their damn homeland. The Somalian pirates are real for a reason. Her brother's been kicking that down since they were kids. That's crazy. Crazy work. Is any Black American raised in the FBA? Yeah. I was raised in the FBA. Whether using the foundational Black American. I was raised as a Black American that specifically speak for Black Americans. Before Tariq even put the F in front of the BA, I was speaking specifically for Black Americans because I had a history. My family has a history in this land. So no matter what we're calling it now, yeah, we've been speaking about our issues for a while. We didn't have gangs come, we didn't have gangs. We came over here as slaves. Nobody has a right to speak on us as soon as they get here. They have gangs 10 years later. Hey, for those who did come over here on the slave ships, they long gone. That Africanism has been long gone. What makes no sense, sir? Let me know what makes no sense. The fact that I was born and raised at FBA without even having to put the F in front of it because, you know, there was no other groups of people around us trying to hinder us that we knew of at the time. Exactly. Shout out to FBA Queen. I'm an FBA, but my family always said we're not African American. My grandfather's grandmother is Blackfoot. My grandmother, my father's mother, she is Creole. They've been here forever because Louisiana, I don't want to say forever, but they've been here way before colonization because of the fact that, God dang it, yeah, France owned Louisiana. And so my Creole grandmother got with my Blackfoot grandfather, and they pushed out a half Blackfoot, half Creole baby that's light as hell, and that man is my father. Well, I can only speak for myself, and I can speak for the majority of the people who have the same lineage because the situation has already been proven. We already know. Matter of fact, let me pull it up while you're here for people such as yourself. We already know how many people was brought to these Americas. We already know. Let's go here. So we can prove this right here. Itinerary. You know what? Let's go here. Let's start here. Apply. Cargo apply. Itinerary here. Mainland North America. Tables. Here we go. Mainland North America. Right here, you clearly see from 1626 to 1875 in the mainland North America, there is only how many slaves brought here? 365,801. That's how many African slaves was brought to the mainland North America. That's it. So when we're talking about FBA, if everybody's raised FBA, everybody don't have to be raised FBA for their bloodline to be FBA. And we know that not everybody have African lineage because only 365,801 people were brought to mainland North America from Africa. But even them went through that same ethnogenesis. So, are everybody going to be raised as FBA? Probably not. But are they FBA? Are they FBA regardless of whether or not they say they're FBA? Yeah. It's a lineage. All right, let's get back over here, family, because I want to finish this up.
waa laga yaabaa meelaha qaarkood inaan isku xagxagano laakiin haddii runtii ay imaato waxaan nahay dad isku tashto dad walaalo ah dad dhiig lah dad isku og inay Soomaali yihiin inay Muslim yihiin oo iyagana isku hiiliya.
She's saying that they're the people of the same blood. And she also mentioned that they're Somali first. Your lineage go further than your grandmother? Of course it does. Who the hell said it doesn't? Who the hell? Sir, I ain't got time for you to sit here and be a contrarian. Come back next week when I do my The Real Natives broadcast. I don't have time for just people who just want to be contrarians in a topic that we're not even talking about at this point in time. We're here to speak about whether or not it's detrimental to allow these immigrants with dual allegiances to hold public office. You want to make this about FBA and a lineage and whether or not we're from Africa, whether or not we're African American. Whatever you believe, that is your preference. Live with that. Now, if you want to talk about that, wait until I have a broadcast on that. And don't worry, I got one coming up real soon, where I'm pulling documents from government sources, where I'm pulling documents from the Smithsonian. Come back when we're talking facts about that. That way, you can be debunked in real time. In the very same way I just showed you how many Africans was brought over here. Anyway, back to what this woman is saying. This woman made it very clear that they're the same people of the same blood, of the same lineage, and they are Somalian first.
marka daraad markii aan ayaan dhaxdaas markii aan maqalnay in qaar Soomaali ah ama Soomaali sheegato in Ethiopia ay la galeen ma baqaan af Soomaali wixii lagu dhaho agreement heshiis Mahmoud Noor had aniga Soomaaliga badiyo soo ceeb ma aha.
You know what, family? I'm going to spare you the musty tether talking and just go here. So we know Ilhan, and this is what I'm saying. A lot of these people, they're moving in the way that she moves. The Deqa chick, the Omar Fateh dude, they're making it very clear where their loyalties lie, as well as the Zohran Mamdani. She was the blueprint for those people. They saw her in office talking about protecting Somali from the Congress, the seat of Congress. She was talking about making sure that Somali is protected because of America. She's in America protecting Somali interest. That was her. And she has opened the door for people like Representative Deqa, for the former senator now running for mayor, Omar Fateh. And she's also someone who is also showing, like the others, they're all against the same thing. ICE. And sending people back to where they belong. Because truth be told, I'm pretty sure she was helping sneaking some of these folks in. Allegedly.
To be coming out of our country. I mean, I grew up.
Wait. Whose country? Whose country? Wasn't she just in a room full of Somalians talking about Somalia? That's her country. That's the country she says she's protecting the interests of. That's the country that she's literally telling everybody that, you know, we have the same blood. We have the same, you know, I don't get it. All of a sudden you're saying our country as if America is your country too? No, you made it very clear where your loyalty lies. You said you are Somalian first. You said you're in Congress to protect the interest of Somalians. Now, all of a sudden, when you see the ICE raids and you see Trump's administration moving on people such as yourself, all of a sudden, our country, tears of thee, sweet land of liberty of thee I sing? No. Stand on what you were standing on prior to this. Stand on what you chose and you decided to stand on, which is being Somalian first. I don't want to hear our country because it ain't our country. Your country is a country that you said that you can't wait to get back to and raise your children and your children's children there. No, see, that's why I made sure to include those videos. I had to show her speaking from her own damn mouth. Salute Opal Ivy. Thank you for being here, my sister. Shalom to you. So when we got here and then she started talking about this landmass as if it belongs to all of us, no, you made very clear where the landmass you desire to be is. You sat here and said you was stolen from your land and brought here as a refugee. I don't know if I has ever seen the military go and steal an alien from a destitute land and force them to become a citizen. But we're supposed to trust her on anything she has to say.
To be coming out of our country. I mean, I grew up in a dictatorship. And I don't even remember ever witnessing anything like that. To have a democracy, a beacon of hope for the world to now be turned into one of the worst countries where the military are in our streets.
One of the worst countries, because Donald Trump is doing what every other president before him has done, which is deportations. Did you say it was the worst country when Obama was deemed the deporter in chief? Shalom and salute to our sister Astarte Jones in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, my sister. Was it the worst country when Obama was doing it? Were you out here saying Obama is one of the worst presidents and America is one of the worst countries when Obama was putting those children in cages? I remember it was the foundational Black American community that was calling out Barack Obama when he was locking those kids up in cages. I didn't see Ilhan Omar come out and call Obama anything halfway close to what she's been calling Trump. I didn't hear her say America was the worst country during that time. So everything that you're saying is political. And you're using the hatred for Donald Trump that some people have to further that narrative. But is it for the American people? No. It's for the people that she is one with, has the same bloodline with, and the landmass that she desires to move her children and her children's children to.
Without any regard for people's constitutional rights, while our
the people that she's talking about when she's saying constitutional rights are people who don't belong to the Constitution, are not citizens of the Constitution, or the corporation known as America, are not a part of the saying, we the people.
president spending millions of dollars propping himself up like a failed dictator with a military parade. It is really shocking, and it should be a wake-up call.
Family, no one said nothing when Joe Biden had the military on hand. They may not have been running through the streets, but there was parades that Joe Biden participated in. Nobody said anything about that. Nobody said anything when, hell, when Obama did so. No one said anything when Bush did it. No one said anything when Clinton did it, or the Bush before him. That's just what the president does. Salute Strong Flower. Thank you for being here. Nobody with dual citizenship should be working in the government. And that part, I 100% agree with. Especially with dual citizenship, because that means you have a dual allegiance.
For all Americans to say this is not the country we were born in, this is not the country we believe in.
What are you talking about? This is the same country. The exact same country. Trump is still have not reached the level of deportations that Obama has reached. Obama is in the Guinness Book of World Records for deportations. So nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is your fellow African isn't in office doing it. It's a Nabisco. Let's be very clear about that. Salute Black Are You. Thank you for your super sticker, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, fam. These folks is literally just running around here talking nonsense. Yes, he is the deportation king from Kenya, as they love to point out. From Kenya, your fellow African.
This is not the country our founding fathers imagined, and this is not the country that is supported by.
You're absolutely right. I don't believe the founding fathers imagined a bunch of non-citizens coming here and getting benefits of citizenship. You're right. I don't believe that this is the America that the founding fathers envisioned. And I know you wasn't a part of that envisionment either. I know damn well the founding fathers didn't envision you as a refugee being able to come over here, get in the office, and then stand on immigrant first business. Oh, I can quite guarantee that's not what the founding fathers envisioned. But go off.
Our Constitution, our ideals, our values, and we should all collectively be out in the streets rejecting what is taking place this week.
All right, family. So there has been talks online, back and forth, about whether or not the question that is here, the question that is posed, the question that I bring to you today, people are debating, should immigrants be able to hold public office? Let's go here, family.
America, come here. Come here. Come closer. What are we doing? Because I just saw a video of, okay, I guess the state of Maine has just elected a mayor that I'm not even going to say what country she's from. I'm not, because the thing is, every time I do that, every time I mention a country, even if it's not about the country, everybody always wants to make it into some xenophobic topic. So I'm not, just look it up yourself. But the bottom line is,
they're from Somalia. I'll say it. I'll say it. She didn't want to say it. I'll say it. They're Somalian. Salute the Level Up legends. Thank you for being here. Aliens are not citizens. Leave. I agree 100%.
This mayor of Maine did not mention anything about what she's going to do for the state of Maine, the country, you know, nothing about making America better, nothing like that. Like, her whole focus is on her home country. How can we help my country that I come from? How can I help make that better? How can we make my country better? Did y'all really put somebody like that in office? I have a hard time believing that this person was actually elected, to be honest with you. I think that there's some planting going on here. If I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I think there's some planting going on.
And I 100% agree. And when she says planting, when she talks about planting, we got to think about people such as Jasmine Crockett, who were just handed positions or seats, who were able to run unopposed. Like, we have to understand the gameplay that the Democrats do. And not just the Democrats, Republicans as well. So yeah, I believe there's some planting going on as well.
Because there's no way that they're putting in all of these people who barely speak fucking English that got these heavy ass accents into public offices so that they can help their fucking home countries. Like, that shit is blowing me right now.
Salute to Iron Will. I've been believing that these people aren't elected, they're selected. Yes, and I agree with you, family. They are selected. And many of them, especially in the lower levels, right? Places where a lot of people aren't really looking at the like local politics, that's where they're placed. And I'm guaranteeing you that they're placed there because we've been pushing so hard for reparations. All these people have a socialist policy at hand where they want to do things for just the poor. They want to make it about class, all when we're speaking about reparations. And I don't take that lightly. I believe the Democratic Party put this together. Well, since they want to talk about reparations, we can make it about class, and that way we can do for people who aren't even supposed to be here. We can do for everybody, and FBAs won't have the ability to get repaired. Much love to you, family. Thank you for that comment.
Honestly, my thinking is you should not be able to be elected into any office position, any official political position, unless your family has been here for at least 3 generations. Because if you've only been here for 1 or 2 generations, you don't have enough love and respect for this country and what it stands for you to be making any type of decisions on behalf of the people. You ain't been here long enough. You probably, a lot of these people probably don't even know the history of the country. So why are you in office making decisions? Like, this shit don't make no fucking sense. Where else in the world can you go where you could just come there and just be an elected official and start making decisions for the country? That don't make no fucking sense, y'all. Come on, wake the fuck up.
It seems like we're the only ones that's asking the sensible questions. Where else in the world can you show up there and just become our win elective office? Where else in the world can you just show up there and get citizenship by having a baby on the land? Where else can you go and, god dang it, illegals are being given stipends and housing and driver's license and all this other stuff while the citizens are being like freaking targeted? Excuse me. Oh geez, allergies are coming up now. Nowhere else in the world, but we're the ones that are running around asking that question. Quasi said, I say 5 generations. I feel that. But family, and yeah, she was spot on. She absolutely spot on. Thank you, Aquarius. I appreciate you. I appreciate you as well. Thank you all for your blessings. Family, while we're talking about this and while the conversation is being had, it's making the immigrants very, very nervous. Now, this person that I'm about to bring up, this person makes a valid point. It does beg the question. If we were to change the laws to say only 3rd generation immigrants can run for office, would that be stepping on the equal protection under the Constitution? Because naturalized citizens are still citizens, and I agree with that. Also, they would fall under representation. So would we be taking away their representation by doing so? Let's go here, family. Salute Robin Jackson. Thank you for being here.
Should the U.S. ban foreign-born citizens from holding elected office? Many seem to think so, citing things like national loyalty concerns. Supporters argue that only natural-born citizens have lifelong ties to the country and may be less vulnerable to foreign influence or divided loyalties. As far as security and sovereignty, it's seen as a safeguard against potential espionage or policy manipulation by individuals with allegiances elsewhere. There are other critics which cite the founders' intent. Some believe it honors the original constitutional vision, especially for roles like the presidency, maintaining a tradition rooted in early American fears of foreign control. Some even go further and say that only third-generation Americans should qualify to run for any government office. That would mean that both of your parents were born in the United States. Or is this discrimination and exclusion? Does it deny the equal opportunity to millions of naturalized citizens who contribute fully to society, pay taxes, and serve in the military? Are we squandering wasted talent? We're talking highly capable individuals, patriotic immigrants, if we should even call them that may be excluded from leadership simply because of their birthplace. Oh,
okay, family. Let me say this, and my sister Sharon, shout out to you because you caught it. You caught it. It's a waiting period, not a lockout. See, if I was the lawyer arguing for this, in which I believe it should happen, you should be a third generational before you can actually run for office. And the reason why I feel that way is because of all the reasons that he already listed: espionage, freaking people coming here having dual allegiances, all of that. It would eliminate that. Now, does it go against equal protection under the law? Well, if I was the lawyer arguing for it, I would have to ask, what's stopping any third generational immigrant from running to give them representation? Just because we said the first and second generation couldn't do it, there are third generation immigrants here. Why can't y'all have them run? There's no reason that you couldn't. So no, it wouldn't be locking out anybody. It wouldn't be going against their equal protection rights. All it would be doing is putting a, like my sister said, waiting period on the situation. The same way you have a waiting period to become a citizen. In the very same way you have a waiting period to become a citizen. Quasi said, I say 5. The 5th, I say. The 5th? Leonardo Yuda, shalom to my brother. He says, I say 7. There is no doubt a bunch of third generations. It's millions of them. Absolutely. This is a war tactic on citizens, civilians. Absolutely. They have third generation immigrants. They could run and they could provide representation. But see, the problem with these folks is they're not looking at the representation in itself. They're looking for a representation of their specific group for their specific country. Quasi said, I'm gonna raise it to 10 generations down. I am Kiara says 7 generations. Okay. Hey, this is a conversation that needs to be had. Let's see here. Let's let them finish.
by the way, which they can't control. So are we searching for leaders?
Wait a second. Did he say they can't control where they're born?
By their qualifications and values? Patriotic immigrants, if we should even call them that may be excluded from leadership simply because of their birthplace. Oh, by the way, which they can't control. So are we...
Oh, but their parents control their birthplace. Their parents control their birthplace. That's why many of them travel over here.
By their qualifications.
That's why many of them travel over here when they're pregnant in order to drop that anchor baby. That's why many of them travel over here 9 months pregnant, ready to pop, in order to drop their anchor baby. Don't tell me they're not in control of where they were born. That's their parents who were in control of where they were born. And they were born in here, in these Americas, for that very same reason.
And values, or is this by how they look and how they say it? And does this undermine democracy? In a nation of immigrants, recall how this country was started.
This country was started due to murderers, slaves, and opportunists. This is not a land of immigrants. It's not. It's a land of murderers, slaves, and opportunists. Mind you, how the country was started. It wasn't started with immigration. As a matter of fact, immigration wasn't even opened up until they released the slaves. In a way to do what? Undermine the people who had all of the all of the skills, and who outnumbered the white supremacists. If you want to say 100-1, that'll be a fair assumption. Salute T1 Productions. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Oh, yeah. They thought they were safe with the anchor babies. They thought they had their foot in the door and nobody can take that out. Oh, they found out real quick, especially when nobody said nothing. When the ICE started rushing and people started clapping. Oh, yeah. They found out real quick that this wasn't going to be good for them.
Restricting who can lead may just erode the democratic principle of representation and weaken trust and fairness.
First and foremost, we are a republic. People speak about the founding fathers, but they don't speak about the principle that the founding fathers had with the situation of voting and why they didn't want to make it a goddamn democracy, why they chose to go with making it a republic. Because the founding fathers said themselves that the people, the lower class people, are too stupid to make decisions for themselves. In a democracy, it says majority rule. What the majority wants, the whole goddamn nation must go by. That's what a democracy is. That's not what America has been, and it has never been a democracy. It has never been a democracy. The majority didn't want to be enslaved. Guess what? They were still enslaved. The majority wanted reparations. And when it was offered, I guess you could say almost given to us in Reconstruction, they came back and took it. Let's not even go that far back. Let's talk about modern times. The majority didn't want the border to be cracked wide open. The majority didn't want tax dollars going to illegals being housed and fed and clothed and given driver's license and given job opportunities. The majority don't want that. The majority didn't want money going over to the Ukraine. The majority did not want money going over to goddamn Israel. The majority of Americans don't want these things. But do you think the government care about the majority and what they want? No, they don't, which means it has never been a democracy. Salute to our sister Sharon on this one too. The majority didn't want us to have civil rights. The majority was against foundational Black American civil rights. And we forced the government's hands. Oh yeah, the majority didn't want them giving businesses or business loans. The majority didn't want them to get housing loans. See, they only talk about democracy as a catch-all tool. But they don't tell people what democracy actually means and how America has never actually been a democracy. It's not even a democratic republic. People would make you think that it's a democratic republic, but it's not. Because although we cast our votes, those aren't the votes that count towards the presidency. The Electoral College has the votes that counts towards the presidency. So the only areas that you're really getting any type of democracy is lower level government, local and state. That's why a lot of us pushed to remind people that the local and state level is more important than the federal level. The places where your vote counts is the local and state level. But guess what? After they get into office, they don't treat it like a democracy there either. They treat it like a dictatorship. Look at Los Angeles and Karen Bass. Look at Gavin Newsom. Look at Kathy Hochul. The list goes on and on and on. So the way of putting them in office might be a democracy in the state and local level. But when those people get into office, they're not practicing democracy whatsoever. Salute Warriors Cherub. Thank you for being here, family.
I cast a vote. I'm looking for a good leader, someone who represents the values of this great country. I personally do not care where they came from. And if we go back roughly 4 generations, we find the very immigrants that founded this land. Let me know your...
No, you don't. No, the hell you don't. 4 generations? For most people such as yourself, you wasn't even let into the country until after 1965. He said if we go back just 4 generations, you'll be able to touch the founders, the people who founded the country. Family, this is the conversation at hand right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm all for it. This is good, in the words of Jason Black. Because this discussion should be had. We should be discussing whether or not this person said, I'm not looking for whether they're an immigrant or not. I'm looking to see if they have the values of America. You can't tell me, especially as a foundational Black American, that I can sit here and watch somebody like the Vivek ramen noodle get put into a position to where he can run, and then he downplays the history of this country, and not just the history of this country, all of the disparaging situations that foundational Black Americans have gone through in this damn country. Oh yeah, I need that gone. I need that ability removed. I need that ability removed. Otherwise, you're going to have these people getting in the office doing things just like this.
I just had to tell you this story. You know, I keep saying that no one is doing anything for Americans. I had not even touched the surface of how bad it's gotten in our country, where every elected official is doing something for everyone except Americans. Just listen to this. The governor of Massachusetts, Mara Healey, is giving $30,000 to each illegal immigrant family just to help them to move into homes. Let me ask you, Americans, has anyone ever given you $30,000? I've bought two homes. I bought two homes, and I don't know how many apartments I lived in when I was younger. No one ever gave me any money.
Family, have you all ever been given $30,000 to help with homes? To help you buy or purchase a home? I'm just asking the question. In a 24-month period per family, $30,000. And then also, each family will also, or it can also, get up to $4,000 per month in EBT cash. $4,000 a month in EBT cash. $500 per month for food, with all the homeless people across America that are legal citizens. We have not been given anything in such a manner as this. There would be no homeless people, at least in this person's state of Massachusetts. There would be no homelessness if they had this program for citizens. Free health care and free cable. Exactly, my sister, and I agree with you 100% full. It's time for federal lawsuits to stop this madness. That's our tax dollars. Exactly. It is our tax dollars funding all of this. In the very same way, it would be our tax dollars funding the so-called government-owned grocery stores. It'll be our tax dollars paying or funding the American government if they were to take the private property and basically take it under ownership. We would be funding our own, once again, deprivation. Salute to our sister Aquarius Mind. My uncle is a disabled veteran and he gets $16 in SNAP benefits. $16. And the man is a damn veteran. That is so disrespectful, it hurts. That is so disrespectful, it hurts. Not to mention many of the veterans who are sleeping on the streets because they don't get the benefits. Chicago has spent more than $400 million over the past 2 years on migrants, with the bulk of the money going towards private companies that help forge lease agreements and provide staffing for migrants. Oh yeah, when I say no, immigrants should be able to hold office for 3 years, 4 years. I mean, 3 generations, 4 generations plus. This is why. And Brandon Johnson is a suspected tether. And you know, if we was to implement that, you can say bye-bye to the suspected tethers. Because there'd be documents to make sure that they couldn't run. So if Brandon Johnson is a tether, he wouldn't have been able to run. Yeah, I know, my sister, trust me when I say, I believe he's Haitian. I just haven't been able to find the definitive proof to show that he's Haitian. How much did the American government in total spend on family? Nothing. They don't do for Black Americans. They don't do for FBAs whatsoever. So when you're talking about in history, every single thing that was done in history had another group tagged along to it. That's the facts.
We are giving $30,000 to illegal immigrants in Massachusetts. Now, illegal immigrants probably have not paid a lot of taxes in Massachusetts. Therefore, the money that she's giving illegal immigrants is coming from her hard-working American citizen taxpayers. That's where the money is coming from.
Why are y'all so concerned with this stuff? Y'all supposed to be watching Sawnetta, thinking you're Africans and smoking crack. Hey, family, the trolling is becoming a trolling situation, but guess what? This troll right here, you could tell is an agent. Why? Because the troll pushed the agent propaganda. Right there. We're supposed to be watching Sawnetta. Who the hell says we're supposed to be watching Sawnetta? Thinking we're African and smoking crack. Really? This is a white man behind this page. This is a white man behind this page. And y'all need to step up your damn game because it's a damn shame. All right. Yeah, man. These folks, they think that they slick. They're not. Y'all really showing how goddamn weak you are. We're not scam Africans, Chad. Absolutely. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But that doesn't stop there. This is what she's also doing. Each family can also get up to $4,000 per month in EBT cash. Up to $4,000 a month. Do you know that how few Americans get any money, especially cash, from our government? Almost none. I mean, you know, you talk about the people who are usually the poorest people, but just regular American taxpayers, we don't get any money from our government. Then $500 per month for food. Wouldn't you like $500 per month for food? And then they get free health care and free cable. This is what's happening in Massachusetts. Now, all of the, Massachusetts is a blue state. All of these Democrats, all of you people out here, all of you poor people that are constantly voting for these people, and they're taking your money. Yes, your money. Even if you work, it doesn't matter. You can be a police officer. You can be one of those people that work in one of the little fast food restaurants. The money that is taken out of your check is going to give illegal immigrants $30,000 to start a household.
No, FBA queen, not $4K a month for food, $4K a month in EBT cash. It's going to be $500 a month for food. All of which, if you were to give that to a homeless person, the person instantly wouldn't be homeless. Instantly. If you give that to any citizen, do you know what we can do with that kind of money? $4,000 a month in cash and $500 in food stamps. Hell, why do you even need to work? And that's on top of a $30,000 loan to help you with housing over a 24-month period. Come on. Give that to me. I will start a business. Well, I already got a business going, but I'll start another business. Helping people sign up for the county. Get that money.
$30,000, and then $4,000 in cash, and then a $500 a month food allowance. That's what's happening in our United States of America. And
with free health care, with free cable. What do these people have to? There's no stress. These people coming over here and being given literally a no stress package. You don't have to worry about housing. Here's $30,000 for housing. Oh, you don't have to worry about incoming so you can pay the mortgage. Here's $4,000 a month in EBT cash. Oh, you ain't got to worry about food. Here's $500 for food a month. You ain't got to worry about Medicare, Medi-Cal, nothing like that. Here's free Medicare. Oh, you don't even have to pay utility. Here's free cable. All the things that an American should be getting, especially a foundational Black American, that's a reparations package. Exactly. Who's approving this? And I have to take it back. I got to take it back to what that man said when he was talking about a democracy. Is this how a democracy should run? This goes to show you that it's not a democracy because ain't nobody approving this but the people that's putting this into the powers, the goddamn political realm. It doesn't even need approval. They're just doing it. There's no hearings, no studies, none of that. They're just doing it. Family, these people are really showing us exactly why we are only for us right now. And just sitting back and watching. You're seeing this. And like I said, you get more of these immigrants in there to run for office, they're going to be doing programs just like this as soon as they can. As soon as they can. Exactly. If they give me that money, I'm not doing shit. I'm sitting back and probably turning into a big back looking at Netflix. What a life. And that's absolutely factual. Salute to our brother Iron Will. He says, I'm a 10-year Navy vet and I don't get groceries paid for nor free cable. How is this even possible? The Democratic Party. And the fact that it's not a democracy. Because if it was a democracy, all the people with the loudest voices saying, nah, this ain't right, they would be the people who actually get listened to, and not the goddamn governor who's acting as a dictator. Exactly. Taxation without no representation. Let's let the sister finish.
I keep telling all of us Americans, everybody cares something about somebody except you and me, American taxpayers. We're the only people that no one ever talks about doing something for us. That's why I keep asking for $25,000 in refunds for American taxpayers, because none of these people care about us. And if you're still going to vote for these people, you're going to still vote for these people that are giving other people who never contributed to our tax base. They're going to get money and you and your family won't get a dime. Anyway, let me know what you think about it.
So, family, to answer this question, should immigrants be able to hold public office? Sure. After a time period of 3 generations or so, sure. I would say I wouldn't be against it. The problem is, do I think that they will take away immigrants' right to run for public office? I don't see that happening. Why? It's because the Democrats and the Republicans both love to push an immigrant to the forefront. They love to use immigrants in order to to smother whatever flame foundational Black Americans is coming with. So when it comes to Democrats, we have Sheila Jackson Lee, the whole CBC, to be honest with you. When it comes to Republicans, you got people like Byron Donalds. So although I believe there needs to be some sort of, revamping on who can actually run for office and when they can actually run for office, I got to think logically. And because both parties are 2 wings on the same damn dirty pigeon, I don't see it happening. And that's just me being real. But it's good to have these conversations. It's good to have these conversations so that our people can see the people who claim to be our representation working for everyone except us, working to undermine us and uplift everyone else. And that's why I love this picture here of the thumbnail that I created here, where you see on one side of the street, you see Maine and it's all dilapidated and broken down. But on the other side, you see Somalia and it's all beautiful with palm trees, street lights. That's basically what we're seeing. Salute Captain Cold Blooded. Thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. I think the whole corrupt system must fall. Yes. The system of white supremacy must be eliminated and replaced with a system of justice. Shout out to Nelly Fuller. Is that Diddy? Little Diddy, that's cold. You're cold for that. You're very cold for that one. Family, I just wanted to bring this to you today. I wanted to get your take on it after presenting all we done saw here today. We done seen several representatives, and these are just the 4 that I selected to just concentrate on today. Imagine all the other people with immigrant backgrounds and their mindset when it comes to their homeland. Being a proud Guatemalan, being a proud Nicaraguan, a proud Somalian. All these people put their proudness of their homelands before being a proud American. But y'all got to let me know what y'all think in the comments after this is over with. And for those who are watching this on a replay game, make sure you do the same. Because like I said, on one hand, what they're trying to do is make this a class situation so that FBA's got no sting. Well, not really got no sting. Even if they were to do a class package, FBA's would still be on the bottom. Every other group would be getting a leg up, even if a small number of us got a leg up as well. The majority of us will still be on the bottom. And then on the other hand, they're also showing who they're really working for. And it's not us, family. It is not us by no means. But with that being said, family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, we got to remember that all of these people have agendas. And all you got to do is listen to these people close enough and you'll hear the agenda. And whether it's given to them by the Democratic Party or by the Republican Party, or whether they, in their heart of hearts, come out and say what they probably shouldn't have said out loud. Saying the quiet part, that is, out loud. These people have an agenda. And when they show their agenda, we got to make sure that it is very loud so that people within our communities don't get pulled into their agendas, thinking that it's a good thing, when we're the ones that's going to be hindered by their agendas the most. With that being said, family, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who's been rocking with me today. Much love to everybody, and I mean everybody who's donated, whether by Super Chat, whether by Cashapp, whether by membership. Thank each and every one of you. Family, I want to make sure that we're seeing these people for what it actually is and who they actually are. Seeing the agenda for what it is and seeing them for who they are. Because if we give them an inch, you won't believe the mile that they will take. But with that being said, family and friends, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever can't stand us black people, he's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing, us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm out.